here, so they're very motivated to have success not only today but tomorrow. Let's take a look at these teams here. We got Beelzeboy running the Registeel, Shadow Quagsire, Skeledirge, Cresselia, Mandibuzz, and Vigoroth here. Again, we mentioned all the different water type Pokemon. We've seen a lot of Lantern on display. I think our number 4 in usage for day number 2, but don't count out that Shadow Quagsire.
Yeah, I think we thought Shadow Quagsire would be making a little bit more of a splash at the World Championships than it has been, but we do see kind of the comeback of Registeel, Beelzeboy jumping on that train here. Let's look at Strange Top's team here. We've got the Lantern that we were just talking about, Skarmory, Shadow Gligar, Charjabug, Annihilape, and Lickitung, and this team looks like something that's been pretty standard for 6 or 7 months now. Yeah,
but I really like the play specifically for the Shadow Quagsire into a lot of these Pokemon. The Lantern, the Charjabug, the Shadow Gligar, lots of really great play there, and some neutral play as well into things like the Skarmory as well as the Annihilape. So very interested to see if Beelzeboy is going to be bringing that every single game. I would expect that he does.
That's right. We've been seeing a couple of matchups where Switch Advantage seems like it's going to be the dominant strategy, but I think there's going to be a lot of neutral play on both sides for these players. Strange Top's got the Lantern, the Shadow Gligar, and the Annihilape core that I know you love. And of course, Beelzeboy's got that Quagsire and Mandibuzz, which I think are pretty safe for him.
Yeah, these trainers are still getting locked in here, trying to make sure that their phones are synchronized for battle. That said, I want to talk a little bit more about these teams. This is another key matchup that we've talked about as well. We actually featured these in the trending up and trending down. Vigoroth versus Annihilape. Vigoroth has so many great matchups, especially versus Pokemon like Lickitung. Lickitung is a Pokemon, though, that may be on its way out with some of the moveset updates that are coming. I don't know. Body Slam doing a little bit less damage in a future meta. I'm just thinking to myself, what's the most important thing of a Pokemon? Is it going to be its fast attack pressure? Is it going to be its charged attacks? Is it going to be its bulk? Thankfully for Lickitung, it has a lot going for it, but Vigoroth is a Pokemon that I think is going to have significant impacts in future metas, knowing that Counter, Rock Slide, and Body Slam are all going to be slightly less impactful in future metas.
We typically see Vigoroth doing so well in these limited metas that you sometimes see in the Go Battle League or other grassroots formats, but probably not going to be seeing it much in the future. We do see it on the field right now, though. Beelzeboy brings Vigoroth, leads it into the Shadow Gligar.
All right, Vigoroth, you need to do a lot of work here, trying to get the most value that you can here before your nerf. Let's see, this is actually a relatively neutral matchup here. There's some situations where the Gligar can force certain outcomes, but we're going to see a Body Slam right away for Beelzeboy, wanting to throw before the Gligar is able to throw its own charge attack.
One of those matchups where you want the Vigoroth instead of the Annihilape. Aerial Ace coming through here. I actually think this is a great no shields by Beelzeboy. If Gligar can land the dig, it's kind of scary. You might end up losing, but now that Aerial Ace comes through and you actually win CMP. So actually, Strange Top gives up switch advantage there, and all of a sudden, Beelzeboy is able to get the Shadow Quagsire on the Lantern.
Yeah, not as bad for this Lantern as it used to be with Spark. You are still able to hit with these neutral water guns, able to get these Surf Softs as well, but Beelzeboy actually opting to use the Protect Shield, wants to make sure that he's maintaining switch alignment. I think is expecting that Mandibuzz to have some good placement in the back, which it will versus that Annihilape.
That's right, Stone Edge coming through here, not going to be enough to take out the Lantern. Oh, actually a shield coming up from Strange Top. Switch advantage is actually going to be key here. You see that Mandibuzz and Annihilape in those back lines, but I think that Beelzeboy is going to be in control of this matchup. If he wants to, he can just shield here. That's right, he does. Maybe just go for a couple more Stone Edges. You charge up very quickly.
Yeah, it is a little bit awkward when you're not running that Mud Bomb. You kind of have to go for these neutral Stone Edges, and actually now going for a bait. So this is such a risky play. Will Stranger call it? Yes, he does. A no shield. Here comes the Aqua Tail resisted damage.
All right, well, the good news is, oh, actually add another Stone Edge, but going for the bait again. Lantern just about out of charge attack. Does Strange Top call this bait? Oh, he actually shields it up at the last second.
Okay, but shields are down now for Beelzeboy. Oh, and actually swaps back into his own Vigoroth now, not able to react. The Body Slam will be launching here. I think the Lantern's going to be able to hang on. Is it at a charge attack yet, though, Soph? I don't think so.
Yeah, attempt of a snipe there. But okay, actually banks the Thunderbolt for later. Comes in with the Annihilape, trying to get a little bit ahead on energy. But now you're locked in here. I think Beelzeboy, you just bring in the Mandibuzz. This Annihilape is not running Ice Punch, so you can pretty much safely just go for double Aerial Ace, and you're not going to be particularly threatened by this energy.
This Thunderbolt has tons of play still for this Lantern on Strange's team. It's really, really impressive to see you swap out, to have that mental discipline to say, okay, I can hang on, I can get to that Thunderbolt. Okay, now I'm going to swap. This is a great matchup, though, for this Mandibuzz. Beelzeboy is going to be launching these super effective Aerial Aces. Meanwhile, you're only taking neutral counters, and then it's only resisted charge attack damage as well. We do not see the Ice Punch here on the side of the Annihilape. Still, there's the opportunity to see some boost here. We've seen it earlier in day one. Will we see a boost here from this Night Slash? Could be impactful. Will we see it? Not this time.
Well, I think if you're Beelzeboy, what you want to do is come out of this matchup with as much energy as possible. No shields left on the field. There's the aerial ace just before that Night Slash comes through. I think he has another charge attack bank for whatever comes in. If it's going to be that Lantern, it's going to be forced to throw all of its energy.
Yeah, and the Lantern, there's, oh, okay, has the Surf ready to go. I think that's actually going to be enough to knock out. Really, realistically, probably could have thrown the Thunderbolt. You're not going to be getting to 2 charge attacks. You just have a tiny, tiny sliver of HP. It's all going to come down to this Gligar now, but keep in mind, shields are down. We got an Aqua Tail ready to go. The spamminess of the Shadow Quagsire. You mentioned that, Soph, as one of the most important factors for why these trainers are bringing the Shadow Quagsire, and that's exactly what translated to success for Beelzeboy here.
That's right, Beelzeboy does take that game. Well, doesn't look particularly happy about it though, but maybe just staying locked.
Trying to do some predictions and recognizing, okay, how are they going to be responding to the team that I just brought? Are they expecting me to bring something different? Are they expecting me to run the same team? How do I want to bring the most flexible team that's going to lead me to success? So we're moving into game number 2. Take us in.
All right, huge switch ups from both trainers. Beelzeboy's got that Cresselia on the field leading into the Charge Bug. Not a great matchup, goes straight into the Shadow Quagsire safe swap.
We talked about all the Pokemon that the Shadow Quagsire does well against, and we're seeing all 3 of them here on display by Strange's team. Immediately just wants to stay in, though, with this Charger Bug. You are doing neutral damage with your X-Scissors, and this is the Shadow variant of the Quagsire, so this is still respectable damage. We might see a swap out. The Lantern could maybe potentially come in here knowing that you're not going to have to take any sort of mud bombs whatsoever. That's in fact exactly what we're seeing. You're able to easily tank one of these Stone Edges, and we might see a full farm down.
That's right, but I think if you go for the full farm down, Quagsire might just reach another Stone Edge, so difficult situation for Strange Top. Just like you said, pretty much the 3 worst Pokemon against Shadow Quagsire. No answer to that safe swap, and it looks like Strange Top does farm up just a little bit more energy, throws the surf at just the last second, but Beelzeboy's pretty much gotten what he wanted, right? He got a lot of chip damage on this Lantern, and now, oh, but now how do you farm down this Lantern?
Well, I don't think it's about farming down the Lantern. I think it's just neutralizing it with this Grass Knot. I think the main thing is that you're now not having to have your Skeledirge into this Water Gun Lantern, which is a really nice situation to be in. Your Skeledirge actually looks quite strong here. Into Charge Bug, it's great. And then versus Gligar, you can do a lot of Incinerates, especially in the 2 shield. It's very, very respectable damage here. Here comes now the Grass Knot. A lot of over farming by Beelzeboy. He's already done some chip damage into this Charge Bug as well. I think things are actually looking pretty good for Beelzeboy at this point.
I completely agree with you. He has some energy on the Cresselia. You can maybe throw one Moonblast here, then switch into the Skeledirge. Charge Bug is going to be quite low, not going to be doing much for the rest of the game. Oh, but Strange Top actually shields up the Charge Bug. Doesn't know that it's going to be his less valuable Pokemon at this point in the game. Beelzeboy quick switch into the Skeledirge, starts incinerating away. Discharge coming through, but not going to be doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, Skeledirge loves shield advantage. Even with a shield here by Beelzeboy, which we don't see, you're actually still in a position where you're up energy versus anything that's brought in, and these Incinerates add up energy so quickly. Stranger is trying to simply get to 2 Aerial Aces and crack these final Protect Shields, but he's going to have to get through both. Like I said, Beelzeboy has 2 ready to go and is almost at 2 charge attacks.
That's right. I mean, what he needs is to be able to take out the Skeledirge before it can reach 2 charge attacks, but he's already at 100 energy here. Disarming Voice coming through. This is actually a bait, so if Strange Top is able to call this, he could get back into the game just a little bit. Oh, and he does call it!
Huge decision. Hangs on with a little bit of HP, has the Aerial Ace ready to go. Beelzeboy says, I'm going to throw this next charge attack right away, but this is all of the energy. Had that been a Shadow Ball, would have fully knocked out, and then you would still need to get to this Charge Bug. We see the second Protect Shield come out from Stranger. It's going to be throwing probably an Aerial Ace here. It's going to be throwing, oh, actually farms all the way down, has 2 Aerial Aces loaded, ready to go. Doesn't go for the Aerial Ace, goes straight for this dig. This would be a significant chunk of damage. Huge shield decision here for Beelzeboy, and he shields the dig.
I think he was just trying to remember, does this Charge Bug have enough energy, and can I outpace it? Look at this, throws the Grass Knot. This is resisted damage, Jim. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to take it out.
Non-stab resisted damage from a bulky Pokemon. Is this all that you need? No, it does not knock out. It hangs on. Charge Bug able to get to the X-Scissor here. This is going to be super effective damage, and Strange is going to be tying up the series 1-1.
And that is another bait that Strange has called to flip some of these matchups. What a great play at the end game. We were thinking that the 2-shield Skeledirge was going to do it for Beelzeboy, but Strange coming out there and getting that end game.
I think the lose condition there was throwing Disarming Voice. You simply needed to knock out that Gligar and then have your Skeledirge just clean up versus it was really the game winner there in that game number 2. Okay, and we're seeing actually a repeat of the lead matchup in game number 1, I believe, the Vigoroth into the Shadow Gligar, Soph.
All right, well, remember in Game 1, Strange ended up just landing an aerial ace and switching out straight away into the Lantern. He has the option to do that again, but maybe he plays it a little bit differently. Now builds up to the dig, but going straight for the aerial ace yet again, and it's actually a charge attack priority with Vigoroth getting off this body slam first.
All right, should be a little bit of chip damage, no shield on the Shadow Gligar. I love the way this Lickitung looks in the back here for Strange. It has positive play, not only into the Shadow Quagsire, but into the Cresselia as well. It's going to have a lot of work to do, though. This Lantern does not want to see either of those Pokemon.
Look at this. Strange is adjusting from that Game 1 loss. Instead of going straight into the Lantern, continues to stay in with Gligar, farming up energy, knows that this would be a lost charge attack priority, so puts up the Protect Shield. I expect to see him do a couple more wing attacks before taking it out with an aerial ace.
All right, well, a lot of energy now on Strange's Shadow Gligar. Just going to throw one aerial ace. This will be enough to knock out. Actually has a second one stored and ready to go. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a shield here. Well, got to take my words back there. Shield does get used. The charge attack priority now with this body slam. Vigoroth will be winning this one, and I believe in the one shield matchup, Vigoroth actually taking the victory here.
That's right, but like you said, the Lickitung is looking pretty nice in the back, especially now that the Vigoroth is pretty much out of the way. Gonna get farmed down by this Lantern here on Stranger's side. And now for Beelzeboy, oh, you actually have 2 answers to Lantern, which is pretty nice, but now you're gonna get the Quagsire lined up against the Lickitung. I don't think Beelzeboy is expecting the Lickitung in the back. Oh, but now he sees it.
I'm a little bit surprised by that swap there. So if you actually had energy to throw into that Lickitung in a much more neutral matchup, this Lickitung now with a shield down is much easier to land one of these double super effective power whips. Beelzeboy immediately coming in with the harder hitting Stone Edge, though. This is going to be very interesting. Yes, you do want to have your Cresselia on that Lantern, but Cresselia really needs to do... I would have liked to have seen some chip damage maybe into this Lickitung to make the matchup for the Shadow Quagsire a little bit easier.
Kind of a scary situation, but he is making the most of it. Look at the Quagsire's already got the Lickitung down into the red here. Strange Top continuing to farm up energy. Actually goes for a body slam bait here. I'm not sure I agree with this because I think the Quagsire can hang on, and I don't even expect Beelzeboy to put up a shield.
Okay, well, Beelzeboy said, hey, you can call baits. Guess what? I can as well. Calls the first body slam bait. If you want to hang on to your Shadow Quagsire, though, you do need to invest a Protect Shield, and Strange is almost at another body slam as well. But Beelzeboy just needs to get to one of these Aqua Tails. In fact, already has it loaded. Gets a little bit of an overfarm, and it's going to be unleashed. This energy will be a race to the next charge attack, but Strange opts to not use the Protect Shield, wants to put it all on Lantern, but you need to not only get through the Whiscash, you need to get through the Cresselia. Cresselia has tons of energy as well, needs to land 2 of these Grass Knots, still a Protect Shield remaining though.
That's right. Here's one Grass Knot, gets the Protect Shield, needs to get to 2 more to close out this game. Lantern has a ton of energy, but look at how bulky Cresselia is. Surf coming through here, just a little bit less efficient than Thunderbolt. If you're Strange, you probably need to go for maybe 3 Surfs, or yeah, I think you need 3 Surfs from this range.
Thunderbolt is not going to do it, so I think that 3 Surfs is going to be the recipe for success. Here comes the next Grass Knot, though. Both of these Pokemon are approaching their next charge attacks. Strange is currently at 1 Surf plus some damage, or plus some additional energy. Throws the first Surf here. This is going to be close, so this may be enough here between this and the second Surf.
That's true. Actually, this Cresselia is just, I think, 1 or 2 Psycho Cuts off the Grass Knot. Oh, but it's charge attack priority!
Lantern wins the charge attack priority. After these water guns, I think it's in range. I have very rarely seen Lanterns able to actually neutralize these Cresselias. Okay, keep in mind the HP, though.
There's still a bit of a Quagsire here. Can you reach the Aqua Tail, and does it do enough?
Does the Aqua Tail do enough here? This is resisted damage, but it is a Shadow Quagsire here. The Lantern is going to do its very best to hang on. Just needs 1 more water gun to knock out. Will the Aqua Tail do it? Yes!
And that is the biggest Aqua Tail of that Quagsire's life, winning Beelzeboy this decisive Game 3, and he's going to be moving on to winners round 2 there. 1 HP and a dream on that Quagsire.
So I need to catch my breath after that game. That was as close as it gets here in day 2 at the 2024 Pokemon Go World Championships. The game's longest fast attack in the game. Now, what's the downside to that, though? It's a 5-turn fast attack. So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of a long, 5-turn fast attack?
Well, the one good thing is that you're guaranteed to get a fast attack through when your opponent throws a charge attack, but otherwise, sometimes you might just end up getting locked into that fast attack for way too long. I think we saw earlier just PvP David with the Skeledirge also using Incinerate, got locked into that fast attack, wasn't able to react, but here we go. Here is that Skeledirge. Beelzeboy leading it into Yakai's Altaria.
All right, no swap out for Beelzeboy. Wants to build up to these Disarming Voices, which can hit super effective, the Fairy typing into the Dragon type of the Altaria. Meanwhile, though, these Dragon Breaths are absolutely adding up. You can see the Skeledirge charge on the side of Beelzeboy, almost at half HP simply from fast attack pressure.
Now you have to wonder if Beelzeboy is going to want to switch out of this matchup, actually still staying in for some time here. Yakai continuing to build up some energy, throws the Sky Attack before Beelzeboy can reach the second disarming voice.
Nice timing there on the Altaria of Yakai, going to throw the Sky Attack. Will we see a shield come out? Yes, now Beelzeboy has the next charge attack ready to go. Does not want to throw an Incinerate and get locked in, potential for an easy catch. Throws right away, and this is actually going to bring out the Protect Shield from Yakai as well.
That's right, and I think Beelzeboy actually chooses to switch out, banking on the fact that there's no Annihilate in the back. Nice read there, able to get this save swap with no punishment. Sky Attack coming through here. It is going to put the Vigoroth pretty close to half health, but I can't imagine Beelzeboy wants to shield this early. Oh, actually he does though.
We do see the shield. I think that could have been the Moonblast potentially, wanted to shield a hard-hitting attack, and realistically, that's going to be a pretty solid shielding choice. You now almost have 2 body slams, should be able to get at least one of these off before Yakai is able to reach that hard-hitting Stone Edge.
And I love seeing counter users against the Quagsire. Those fast attacks add up so quickly against those mud shots, which are generating energy but not doing a whole lot of damage. Second body slam coming through here, and Yakai is forced to shield it up, has a lot of energy banked on this Quagsire, doesn't want it to go to waste.
Yeah, shields are down at this point for both trainers. Lots of energy on the side of the Shadow Quagsire. Aqua Tail is not going to be enough to knock out. 2 may be enough. Both of these are going to be Shadow damage, right? 20% additional damage from these Shadow Quagsire. First one comes through. Do you overfarm? No. Want to avoid that charge attack priority. Yakai properly throwing right away.
And here's the good news for Yakai. Beelzeboy doesn't have a very easy way to take out the rest of this Quagsire. About 20% health left, brings in the Cresselia, but these Psycho Cuts don't add up. It's going to need to throw a Grass Knot to take it out, most likely. Here's Yakai throwing that Stone Edge, trying to start chipping down this Cresselia.
What's going to be challenging is how do you neutralize this Charge Bug on the side of Yakai? Your Cresselia is only going to be hitting for non-stab neutral damage, and actually no overfarm whatsoever, throws the Grass Knot right away. I think it's going to be up to the Skeledirge to be able to take out this Charge Bug. Unfortunately, it paces to moves a little bit slower than this Charge Bug. Charge Bug now on the field. Okay, here comes the counter swap. Okay, an interesting swap here though, brings in the Altaria. Will it be able to farm down? Yes, right as Beelzeboy is able to get to that disarming voice, Altaria is able to do all that it needs to neutralize that Skeledirge.
Final matchup on the field here, Charge Bug versus Cresselia, but the Cresselia has already been chipped down to half health. X's are coming through here. This is super effective damage. Not going to be quite enough to knock out, but maybe with the Volt Switches afterwards, and I think this Charge Bug can still hang on to several charge attacks from the Cresselia.
Yeah, 1 Moonblast not going to be enough. 2 Moonblasts I don't think are going to be enough as well. And this second X-Scissor, you get to 1 Volt Switch faster. 3 Volt Switches, now 2 Volt Switches. Yakai in the driver's seat will be able to reach this X-Scissor and knock out the Cresselia. Game number 1 goes to Yakai.
That's right, off the back of the Altaria Charge Bug Quagsire team there. I think we were talking so much about that Quagsire before the matchup began, but if you look at these teams, Yakai's Quagsire is
a lot of risky plays. Trainers knowing that sometimes the safe play is going to be, maybe not throw your opponent off. They're expecting the safe play. Maybe the risky play could be the one that leads you to success.
That's right, a lot of mind games, especially as you get deeper and deeper into these series. We're heading into game 2 of this series. Beelzeboy needs to win this or he drops down to that loser's bracket.
Okay, we're moving right in. Game number 2, currently 1-0 in favor of Yakai. We're going to see the Vigoroth again here from Beelzeboy, this time in the lead, lined up versus the Skarmory. This is a nice neutral matchup. The Vigoroth is able to hit for neutral counters as well as neutral rock slides. The one benefit Yakai has is that he actually is able to hit for the same type attack bonus with his Steel Wing and with his Sky attacks.
Looks like this was charge attack priority. Neutral rock slide coming through from Vigoroth, no shielded by Yakai. It's not going to do enough to threaten, but maybe with some more counters and another rock slide, start pressuring shields from that Skarmory. But this is just a Sky attack coming through. I think Yakai did actually build up to the Brave Bird, though.
A really bold strategy from Yakai, bringing this double flyer matchup, maybe expecting no Registeel. Fortunately for him, no Registeel was brought. Just needs to get through this Vigoroth, this Shadow Quagsire, and the Mandibuzz. I still think there's a lot of play for both trainers at this situation. I think realistically, it's either trainer's battle, especially here in this pretty neutral early matchup.
And Beelzeboy does pull a Protect Shield there, and once he's done that, he actually brings in the Quagsire as a safe swap. Yakai is actually able to pull Beelzeboy's first Protect Shield with this Brave Bird and actually swaps into his own Quagsire. Interesting, I was expecting to see him swap into the Altaria.
Now, one thing that actually is the favor of Quagsire here compared to some of the other Mud Boys is that it has access to Stone Edge. So those flyers that are normally punishing things like Whiscash, things like Swampert, it's going to be a lot less punishing, a lot more risky bringing it into something like Quagsire, especially with a shield down and an energy lead on the Quagsire. But we're seeing the Quagsire on Quagsire battle of the Aqua Tails. Here comes the next Aqua Tail from Yakai. A little bit of an energy advantage for Beelzeboy though, and actually wants to overfarm. Could be committing the second Protect Shield here, yes indeed.
That's right. I think he's going to try to go for a little bit more of an overfarm before throwing the first of 2 Aqua Tails. Yakai probably isn't going to be able to invest another shield in this matchup, otherwise it'll just go to waste as Beelzeboy has almost 100 energy on this Quagsire.
I like the timing there, throwing 2 mud shots before you get to the next charge attack. Want to avoid the charge attack priority. Yakai understands that there's another Aqua Tail loaded and does not want to get in a situation where you shield and then end up getting knocked out anyway. Here comes the Altaria though. Ooh, we talked about risky plays here, so we've got a risky one coming out right now. Beelzeboy immediately throwing the Aqua Tail, not playing around whatsoever. Nice bait though, and actually now swaps into the Mandibuzz. Shields are down, we've got 2 bulky Pokemon. The one advantage for Yakai though is that this Altaria does have the Community Day attack Moonblast, which will hit for super effective versus this Mandibuzz.
Mandibuzz is incredibly bulky though, is going to be able to hang on through a single Moonblast. First Dark Pulse coming through though, doesn't do a ton of damage, but you know, you still have a little bit of both of those 2 Pokemon in the back, Vigoroth and Quagsire. So potentially, if you can just land 1 more Dark Pulse, that could put this Altaria in range of another single charge attack.
Beelzeboy is dancing all around these matchups, always wanting to swap out of his low HP Pokemon. Look how much damage that Moonblast does, but a Dark Pulse is ready to go for the Mandibuzz. Already chipped this Altaria down to roughly half HP. Shields are down at this point. Let's not forget the energy on Beelzeboy's Shadow Whiscash. I think that he might have an Aqua Tail stored, or maybe just 1 Mud Shot off and a full farm down. Altaria has some energy. Is an Aqua Tail enough to KO here now, Soph?
It's going to be very close. I think even if it's not, you might be able to finish off with a fast attack from either of your Pokemon, but I think you have to bring it in here because, oh, but this Sky Attack is already loaded.
Yeah, Sky Attack, just 1 Mud Shot away for that Quagsire. Sky Attack is loaded. This will be able to take out the Quagsire. Now it's all on Vigoroth for Beelzeboy, and it's going to be his final hope. No energy, needs to get to this Body Slam. Can he get there? No, a Dragon Breath down, and Yakai proves to be the superior Shadow Quagsire trainer. Here in this situation, a clean 2-0 sweep.
Defeating Beelzeboy, another great trainer from the APAC region. Journey's not over for Beelzeboy yet, though. Drops to the loser side of the bracket. Yakai going on a tear here. I believe that was winners round 2. And what a great tournament run he's having. I think he's already